Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another Let's Talk Books video, and this time we're talking about an entire edition, so 7 books. Now, I am talking about the newly released as of July 2025, Stenciled Edge edition of the Harry Potter US books by Mary Grand Pré. Now, I really want to point out that this series is basically the same as the 25th anniversary, but better. So, let me break it down for you, okay? So first off, let me just show you the Sorcerer Stone book cover. Do you see how this is the exact same cover as the original Mary Grand Pré Sorcerer Stone edition? It's by Scholastic, released in the USA. The only thing new is this gold foil trimming around the edges. You see the little golden snitches on each corner. You got the little golden stripes going down. That is all there is of the 25th anniversary for all 7 books, and each book has a respective little symbol right there. However, this is actually the Stenciled Edge edition because look at that. This is what makes it so special. You see the golden snitches on the edges is called the Stenciled Edge edition. So that is what makes it different than the 25th anniversary. So again, to clarify, this is a Stenciled Edge edition because it's got that. However, the 25th anniversary just simply has a golden trim around the edge. So it's really, really boring, the 25th anniversary that was released back in 2023. This actually was released in 2024, and I'll get to it in a little bit more detail in a bit. But the rest of the books were actually released this year in 2025. Just this one alone was 2024. So the only difference between those 2 editions, besides like the Stenciled Edge, is also like a couple dollars difference between each edition. So like this one is $14.99, but apparently the 2023 25th anniversary edition was like $12.99 or something like that. So it's really just a change of a couple dollars. And then this. So personally, if you want me to tell you which edition to buy, if you're ever interested, go for the Stenciled Edge one because this one has more stuff. I'm just saying, it's beautiful. Now, let's continue and talk about it. So these were just released of this year, except for this, like I said. So this is actually slightly different than all the other ones in the set. And this is because, like I said, was released in 2024. And what happened in 2024 at the end, around October 2024, they quit using the Wizarding World logo. So this, on the very back, has that Wizarding World logo on it. You see? Right smack in the middle, and in the inside of the copyright information, you go to it and it's got all about the Wizarding World logo and Wizarding World trademark inside of it. And at the very bottom of it, it says this first edition printing 2024 in Italy. And it's a first because the number line goes all the way down to 1. So it's a first printing, first edition of this specific Stenciled Edge book. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, the rest of this book is very much normal. There's nothing extra inside of this besides, like, it's like the very original Harry Potter Sorcerer Stone book. In fact, it's the exact same as the Harry Potter box set that I showed you guys a couple months from Mary Grand Pré that I was like, this is my personal one and I'll be reading out of. Remember that? The exact same thing, just the cover is different and the spine is different. So this one is the one that makes the dragon. Remember how I told you that in the previous video also, that like if you put all the spines together, it'll make the Ukrainian dragon from Deathly Hallows? That's what this does. So we will put the spines together so you guys can see it. Right here it is. This is Rolling Harry Potter and the Sorcerer Stone, Year 1, Scholastic logo. Unfortunately, the spine's a little bit damaged. It's paperback. You really can't expect a whole lot from the paperbacks. They do get damaged a little bit. See that? But, again, this one, weird because it still says the Wizarding World logo on it, but all the other ones don't. And I'm kind of curious to see if I go and buy this edition again, will I get, like, without the Wizarding World logo? I think I would. I'd probably get it, but it wouldn't be a first, so I'm like, well, obviously I get the first. So, the Stenciled Edge of the Golden Snitch is on every single side. which is really cool. Now, before I continue showing off the other books, I do want to point out, so I got the rest of the series from Barnes & Noble's all in one order, and they didn't package it very well. They basically put all the books on top of each other and those big bubble airbags of packaging inside of it, and they were like, ta-da! And I was like... So what happened was some of the spines got a little bit damaged, like the edges and all that, because they were kind of banged around. So I did contact Barnes & Noble's, and they gave me a refund, a partial refund. So that's like very impressive. Now these editions, I don't expect them to be valuable like at all, because they've been printed in such a huge quantity, right? It's not like 1997 or something. This is like mass-produced edition. So I don't really expect a whole lot, especially also because they're paperback. So it's like, I'll just keep the partial refund and I'll keep them as is, because that's the best deal for me. They were offering me a replacement and I was like, it could just happen again, and I don't really feel like dealing with it again. So that is what we're doing. Now, let's look at Chamber of Secrets. Again, this is the exact same Mary Grand Prairie cover. You have Fox Phoenix up there. You have Chamber of Secrets, so it's Harry at the very top. As you can see, it is the exact same as normal. Now, if you look though, the corners have a nice gold foiling of Tom Riddle's diary. That's what is different. And then again, the gold foil trim at the top. But I will point out, and I've just realized this actually just now, that the gold trimming between the two is slightly different. So this is a snake, right? Look at that. It looks like a snake, the gold foil trimming. However, this is not. It's just a little design. It kind of looks like hourglasses or triangles meeting up or something. So yeah, it's just something to notice right then and there. But let's keep going. So again, you got Tom Riddle's diary on the corners right there, and then the snakes go around. Again, the back, which by the way, I don't even think I showed you guys the back of the Sorcerer Stone, but like I said, it is literally the paperback edition. There is nothing fancy whatsoever, except for the Wizarding World logo. So let's look at that together, shall we? So, no Wizarding World logo. Wizarding World logo. Interesting, right? So you have the two that don't have it. And if you keep looking inside the Chamber of Secrets, you will find that there's no mention of the Wizarding World trademark anywhere in this book. But before we get there, look at the stencils. So again, Tom Riddle's diary all over the place. And again, see how I'm telling you, like how it's like slightly banged up? And like I said, this makes the dragon. Now this is a first printing, and the weird thing is that this is no longer printed in Italy, but printed in China. And it says this edition first printing 2025, printed in China, and I'm trying not to open it that much because I don't want to break the spine. But as you can see right here, the number line goes down to 1, so it's a first again. And as you can see inside the copyright, there is absolutely no mention of Wizarding World. It just says Harry Potter is a trademark. Again, R.I.P. Wizarding World logo. Alright, so now let's look at Prisoner of Azkaban. And for the millionth time, it's just Mary Grand Prairie, but we have a stag on the corners for the gold trimming. And this looks to me like an hourglass, like a time turner, you know? So this is the Mary Grand Prairie cover. Obviously you have Buckbeak, Harry, and Hermione. And then Sirius Black inside of the tower because they're about to break him out. There's the spine. As you can see, it's slowly making the dragon. And then, the back of it. Dementor. Stag. And then Sirius. Now, if you're wondering what the beautiful stenciled edge is, it matches the cover edges. Look at that. Like this way. There you go. Very beautiful, I find. So, again, slowly putting them together. And if you want to see how they're looking with the first 3 together, let's look, shall we? They're slowly making the dragon. Alright, next up is Goblet of Fire, which I'm actually currently reading in my other paperback set. So here it is. This is, again, Mary Grand Prairie cover. You got Harry, Cedric, Fleur, and Victor Crumb on the cover, which is actually, for me, really fun because it's not the normal characters you see, right? Except for Harry. You get some of the other characters, so it's Goblet of Fire, and you obviously see the Goblet of Fire as the foil, and then I guess it looks like a maze. This is probably the maze symbols, you know, like hedges. There that is. And obviously he's holding the egg. You have Sirius Black in the background. But look at that chunky thing. You got the Goblet of Fire. Super cool, I think. And then obviously the back of it is continuation. So you have some of the magical creatures from the maze. You have the Bobaton carriage. Again, I'm just going really fast through these because I'm basically assuming most people know what Mary Grand Prix's cover looks like, and I feel like the best thing to do with the Mary Grand Prix is show off the original hardback. But I barely touch those anymore because they're so old, but they're in such fine condition because I keep them so well that I'm like, you stay there and I don't touch you. So, again, this is the spine. It's a chunky one. Obviously, you have Ron and Hermione on the spine at this point. Because again, they're on the Ukrainian Iron Belly and they're fleeing for their life. Okie dokie, so here is Order of the Phoenix. And this time you have Umbridge's quill as the foil. And then it looks like the moon? I guess for astronomy, maybe? But yeah, you have some astronomy symbols, a moon. Maybe it's a star? Yeah, it looks like a moon and a star to me, so. And obviously the normal cover of Order of the Phoenix. It's Harry in the Department of Mysteries. There's actually Harry on the spine this time. And then there's the back of it, and that's Mad-Eye Moody, Lupin, and Tonks. Or maybe it's not Lupin in the back. I don't really know. I'm assuming that's Lupin. And this one changed the price, $17.99, and as you can see, no more Wizarding World logo on any of these except for the first one because it was printed a year in advance. And this is the exact same thing. Printed in China. China. There you go. No mention of the Wizarding World logo anywhere. Oh, and in case you haven't figured it out, look at those beautiful stencils of Umbridge's quill. And as you can see, every book is a different color. I hope you figured that one out by now. Okay, and HalfBlood Prince is the locket. So that is the locket that they get at the cave. Or the fake locket, that is. Because it's not the real one. So it's Harry and Dumbledore looking at the pensieve. And this, I don't know, I guess to me that's like a cave opening. I guess. What do you think? I think it kind of looks like the cave opening. I'm gonna guess that's that. But as you can see, every single book has a different design for the gold foiling. And again, it's the exact same thing as a 25th anniversary, right? Every single book has the same design. That makes sense. Like, if you went and bought the 25th anniversary of HalfBlood Prince, the cover would be the exact same thing. The foiling and everything. However, again, the stenciled edition is what makes it so cool because of this. You would not get this for the 25th anniversary, which, really, what were they thinking? They're like, let me make a 25th anniversary. We're gonna stamp some foiling on it, and then we're gonna make another edition that's the exact same thing, but better. And it's like, why you do collectors dirty like that, you know? Anyway, so here is the stenciled edging for HalfBlood Prince. As you can see, it's very green with the locket. Right. There's the back. Again, this is going to be a first printed in China, and no Wizarding World logo whatsoever. Why do I know that? Because I've already looked at all these for you. So yeah, and let's go look at Deathly Hallows. Here is the final one, and it is actually two wands. So it's Harry and Voldemort's wand dueling with some stars around it. And this is the final design, and honestly, it kind of like resembles eyes, I guess. Or maybe it's like the Resurrection Stone. You be the judge. You guys let me know what you think that looks like. But here is Harry. He's basically reaching for something. It's the exact same cover as I've said. It is the original Mary Grand Prix editions. Here's the spine that makes up the dragon's face. There's Voldemort. There's the bottom of it. Again, no Wizarding World logo to be found. But this is the best part, obviously, these stencils. Yeah, so let's put all the books together, shall we? But as you can see, I put it all on a bookshelf so it's a lot easier to look at it. They all have their respective stencil edges, they're beautiful different colors, and then the spines make up a beautiful dragon. Now the spine is not something new to this edition. This has been happening for like over a decade at this point. The spine appears on many Merry Grand Prix box sets, so when you buy the box, like a box of books, all 7 of them, you would get the, the dragons on the spine. So it's nothing new, it's not exclusive. Like I said, the only thing exclusive about this edition are the stenciled edges. So let me know in your comments below if you guys think that this edition is worth buying, if you think it's beautiful, or if you think it's very like unenthusiastic and it lacks some charm to it. And again, the difference between this and a 25th anniversary, stenciled edges, and a couple of dollars of difference between the 2 books. Take it for what you will. I hope this helps you out if you are trying to decide which edition to buy. And I will see you guys all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.